Okay, great. And then let me switch to my AirPods here. All right, can you guys hear me? Just testing one, two, three. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, sweet. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm wearing my sunglasses because I'm in the sun, so that's why I can't do this. Otherwise, I'll be squinting the whole time. So bear with me on this one. But today we're going to be talking on 5 keys to crushing your push period, right? 5 keys to crushing your push period. I'm so stoked to be giving this message to you guys because it's at the perfect time, in my opinion, right in like basically almost a halfway point of push, where some of you guys are probably in different positions here. So just remember, as always, I'm always going to make sure I share this with you guys. I'm fired up to be giving this message. It's not just another call for me. I always prep for these messages. I always show up. I have, content prepared for y'all. And because you guys gave me your time, I'll give you guys my promise that I'm going to give you my energy for this as well. Just like before, I always ask 2 things in return. One, be fully muting Eli right there. Be fully present. Phones down. Close out those browsers with emails. Just put the phone away as much as you can. Just be in this room for the next 30 to 40 minutes. Just be here, not half here. Whatever else your day is pulling you towards, I promise you guys it'll still be there. And then the second thing I always ask of you guys is to be engaged. Don't just sit back. Don't just take notes and just passively listen. Actually, actively listen. Comment if I tell you to comment, raise your hand if I tell you to raise your hand. If something hits you, write it down, share it with the group. The more involved you get, the more you can activate your brain, especially in the morning, the better it's going to be. So can you guys give me that? Can I get a 1 in the chat if I get an agreement on those 2 things? Give me a 1 in the chat here, and then we'll get rocking and rolling here. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Fantastic. All right. Let's get started. So before we get started into my content, I want you guys to post something here. In one word only, how is your push feeling right now? The feeling. You fired up? Are you numb? Are you buried? Are you coasting? Are you tired? What is it? Just drop it. There's no grade, no judgment here. Just drop whatever it is you're feeling right now about the push currently and how you're feeling in your performance. Mid. All right, from Logan. Mid. All right. 2 mids. Busy. I. They're interesting words. I was not expecting those words. Stagnant. Okay. What else, guys? Nervous. Cool. All right. So far, no good ones. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Nervous. Right. All right. Busy. I think we got everybody here. Might be missing one more. We haven't posted post yet. So look at the chat box, guys. Most of you are in the exact same position where it's like right in the middle where you're just trying to keep your head above the water. And here's what every single one of those words has in common. Every one of these words is about results. Every single one of them is about the scoreboard. And we're in the middle of push right now, which means whether you're up, whether you're down, you've all got one thing in common. You've probably been punched in the face throughout this push period. See, Mike Tyson, by the way, hopefully everyone knows who Mike Tyson is and not just someone, not an old person just saying that. Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. You guys probably had a plan back at the kickoff, right? The goal, the thermometer, the call list, the everything, right? Then the push actually started and then reality started to hit you in the face. Either customers flaked, the phone got heavy, right? Some days just went right how you drew them up, and some days just didn't. See, that's not a sign that something went wrong. You're just in the middle of it, the middle of the push, the middle of the week, the middle of the fight. It's the part where you've like already been hit. And some of you probably haven't even gotten hit yet, honestly. Right. Do you guys remember when I talked about, if you guys remember one of my earlier calls, I talked about a rocket where a rocket, the first 80% of its fuel happens during takeoff. And right now you've already spent that fuel. You're in the air now. And here's the thing about planes, right? They almost never crash on takeoff. They drift off course in the middle when nobody's watching the controls. So today is not a takeoff talk, since obviously we're in the middle, but today is the controls, the 5 keys to keep crushing your push from right here where you are right now. So whether you're winning, whether you're buried, whether you're right in the middle, whether you're right, it all comes down to one sentence that I want you holding on to for the next 30 to 40 minutes. The middle of the push isn't won by the rep who's ahead. It's won by the rep who can get their momentum back the fastest. I'll say that again. The middle of the push isn't won by the rep who's ahead. It's won by the rep who can get their momentum back the fastest. It'll sit in there for y'all. And let me show you how. So the first key, if you guys are taking notes, first key number 1, detach from the scoreboard. Now, normally I have a PowerPoint presentation, but I can't look at my notes and look at the PowerPoint at the same time. So bear with me on that one. But detach from the scoreboard. See, the number one thing running in your head in the middle of the push is always a scoreboard. And I can say that with confidence because that's how I ran majority of my pushes. Is I always thought about the scoreboard. I always thought of how far behind I was from the number, where you are versus where you said you'd be. And I need you guys to hear me right now. The scoreboard is lying to you right now. Not because the number's wrong. The number is just the number. It's lying about what it means. Because here's what a scoreboard actually is. It's just a stat. It just tells you where you've been. It's never once told you what to do next. Not in basketball, not in sales, not anyone. And I'll prove it to you guys in 2 ways right now, because there are a couple of you in this room right now that are winning, right? That are winning the push. And congratulations, and watch out, because a good scoreboard can make you soft. You start coasting on that number that you put up a couple of days ago, that you put up this past week. And you start protecting a lead instead of extending it, right? If you guys have hopefully you guys saw the Knicks game and the Spurs game where they were up by 29 points and they biffed it because they got super comfortable, right? The scoreboard's whispering, hey, you're good, ease up. And that's how a hard start can turn into a flat finish. And if you're struggling right now, the scoreboard is doing something worse. It's making you flinch. You sit down to make the calls, and now you're not even thinking about the customer. You're thinking about the gap. You're carrying the whole number into one phone call. And the customer can feel that, especially when you go into a demo. You're calling or you're selling from I'm behind instead of I've got something good for you. And that can affect the customer tremendously. Same scoreboard, 2 traps. One soft, one scared. And here's the way out. It's the exact same for both of you if you're in both situations. Think about a great shooter in basketball who's just missed 5 in a row. They bricked 5 straight. What does the great one do on the 6th shot? They shoot it the exact same. Same form, same confidence, same follow through. Because they know something a lot of players never learn. You don't control whether the ball goes in. You control the shot. The second you start changing your shot because of the scoreboard, then you're done. Now you're aiming, now you're flinching, now 5 misses turns into 10. Your demo is your shot. Your phone call is your shot. You don't control whether they buy. You control how you show up, how you serve, how you ask. That's the whole job. And I'll put it into a demo for you. Let's say you're behind, right? You're behind pace on your goals. And tonight you've got a family you were counting on, right? A demo you were counting on. Eyes on the scoreboard, watch what happens. You walk in, you rush the names and uses, you rush the value point. You're like skipping stuff because you're just so desperate to need the order. And then the second that they hesitate, you're already discounting in your head. You're already looking for the next sale. You're like, let me just try to sell you a trimmer instead. You're not running a demo. You're just begging for a number. And then flip it. Eyes off the board, right? You slow down. You maybe you even push back the appointment. You're like, I'm already ahead. I don't need to do this demo. I'm going to just cancel or reschedule, right? And then now you start going the opposite direction. So either way, you don't want to be in that situation. You want to keep doing your shots. See, your number is not a report card. I want you guys to hear me on this. Your number is not a report card on who you are. It's just a stat. and stats just lie in the middle of the game. So curious, guys, do a self-reflection right now on a scale of 1 to 7. 1 being I'm barely looking at the scoreboard at all, like I'm just doing my thing, and 7 being like it's like the only thing that's on my mind, like just trying to hit this push goal number. Where would you say you're at between 1 and 7? All right, Logan's at a 5. Thank you, Logan, for kicking us off. 3, 4.5, 1, 6, 4. All right, 3, 2. Cool. Great. That's most of you. That's exactly why you guys are here. So key number 1, get your eyes off the scoreboard and back on the next shot, whether the board says you're a hero or you're still behind. Doesn't change what the next call needs from you. A lot of you are thinking, all right, Alan, I hear you, but I just don't have it in me right now. I'm just not motivated. And this is what key number 2 is for. Key number 2, regenerate momentum. Don't wait for motivation. Regenerate momentum. Don't wait for motivation. See, when you lose your momentum in the middle of the push, and you freaking will, everybody does, I do, there's one question that will decide your entire summer or your entire push. It's not, how do I never lose momentum? Because no one technically ever loses it. Even in the best, this business will lose it. The question is, how fast can you get it back? How fast can you get it back? Who here knows Newton's first law? Give me a hands up if anyone knows it. All right, cool. I'm not going to call on you because I'm just in case. Object at rest stays at rest. Object in motion stays in motion until something knocks it off course. See, that law doesn't just run in the universe, it runs you. When you've got momentum, the next call is easy, the next demo is easy, you're rolling. The second you stop, one slow day, run rough demo, 1 day off, right, whatever. Getting going again feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill. And here's the mistake almost every stuck rep makes. They sit and they wait to feel motivated. I'll call when I feel like it. I'll get going. My energy comes back. And let me tell you guys how motivation actually works, because you guys got it all backwards. Most people think it goes, I feel inspired, then I get motivated, then I take action. Feeling first, action last. It's the opposite. Action will always come first. You do something, anything, and the doing will always create the feeling, and the feeling will create the momentum. You don't strike a match and wait for it to feel warm before you light the fire. You light the fire and then it gets warm. So when you're flat in the middle of this push, you don't wait. You make one more call. You text that one past customer. You book that one layup appointment with somebody you know will say yes. Not because that one call hits your goal, because that one call can put you back in motion. And an object in motion stays in motion. So don't wait till you'll feel like it, because you'll be waiting all freaking push. Move first, then the fire shows up after you strike the match, not before. And I'll tell you guys a real story from me specifically when I went after my push period right back then. And I won't even do my 100 grand or 145 grand one. I'll do one way earlier. I'll do one from my first 10K push. My first 10K push, guys. Can you guys guess what I sold the first week of push? I want you guys to put in the chat. I want you guys to think. I want to see what you guys think I sold the first week of push, first 7 days. 500, 0. Granted, I sold 10 grand, by the way, for the whole push period. 1,500, 1,000. Cool. All right. So close. My first week of push, guys, I sold about 870 CPO. And that was because my mom decided to get a cookware set that was way back then for a couple pieces. It was tough. I was like, what the heck am I doing? I'm in the worst spot possible. What am I going to freaking do? And I remember someone telling me this exact scenario of like, just create the action. Create the action and trust the results will follow. Don't just wait for it to happen. And so that's what I did. I just focused on the things that I was in control of. I just kept picking up the phone, kept making the calls, kept picking up the phone, kept making calls. And it was the last day, but I did it, and I sold $10,000 for push. See, whenever you wait to feel ready, that's when things are going to collapse. You have to create that readiness. There's a Navy SEAL admiral that I admire who tells every graduating class, you guys might have heard of this before, if you want to change your life, start by making your bed. It sounds soft, it sounds so simple, but it's not. It's the first win of the day. See, one small thing done puts you in motion, and the motion is contagious. That's why every push period, I make sure that I'm doing a morning routine that feels like a win, because I want to create that win from the very second I wake up. One task becomes two, that becomes 10. So your version during push could be one call before you let yourself feel anything about the number. And here's your exact layup to do when you feel flat. You don't open the session with the hardest cold lead on your list. That's like the boulder. Maybe you text a past customer, someone that already loves Cutco. Right? Like someone that said, oh, Susie, you should see Susie because she has Cutco. She loves Cutco. Call her. All right. Maybe that's your layup. They like you. They like the product. Right. Doesn't matter. Just pick the easiest one that can lead to that layup, not the boulder. So question, be honest with yourself right now. Post in the chat. Are you in motion or are you at rest? Be fully honest with yourself. Rest, rest, rest. Cool. Awesome. Great. If you typed at rest or rest, good. At least you know. Your job today isn't to feel better. It's to move and let moving do the work that motivation was never going to do for you. But moving towards what? This is the third key. Key number 3. Reconnect to the desire, not the digits. Reconnect to the desire, not the digits. See, somewhere in the middle of the push, something quietly goes wrong with your why. You guys remember your why, right? Hopefully you wrote that down. When you started the push, you had a reason. The number that you were going for meant something. It was going to pay for the car, the tuition, the trip, getting out of debt, proving something to somebody, whatever the reason may be. The number was a doorway to the thing you actually wanted. Then the push starts and the grind is you're grinding right for this. And slowly the number starts becoming a doorway and becomes the whole point. And now you're just chasing digits and you forgot what the digits were actually for. If y'all remember, I love saying where focus goes, energy flows, you guys. And right now, a lot of you have your focus locked on the number you haven't hit. So all your energy is flowing towards what's missing. So no wonder you're tired. So let me ask you guys something real. You think the CSPs like myself at like the top of this company, you think we're passionate about knives? Just curious. You think we're passionate about knives? You think like the top CSPs in the world, all they do is dream about Cutco and that's it? Which, don't get me wrong, I have dreamt about Cutco at times. But no, come on, like no one's lying awake in love with. I'm not here with my paring knife. Like, oh, I love this paring knife. Like, I love the product. Don't get me wrong. And we're really what we're passionate about is what the product buys, the lifestyle, right? The growth, the freedom, the person that I'm becoming doing hard things. The knife has always just been a vehicle. See, there's a swimmer, by the way, 3 Olympic gold medals. And somebody asked him, I forgot his name. Somebody asked him if he loved to practice. Loved getting up at 4 a.m., jumping in the freezing pool, swimming laps, staring at the black line on the bottom till my lungs are screaming. That's what he said. You know what he said? He said, no, I don't love that, but I love the whole thing. See, that's what passion actually is. It's unsexy most of the time. It's not loving the 7:30 a.m. calls with Mr. Alan Hernandez. It's not loving the 7 p.m. dial tone on a Tuesday. It's loving what that dial tone is building towards and being able to connect the boring part to the bigger picture. So I get it. Nobody's fired out about a knife at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. I get it. Get fired up about the thing that the knife pays for. See, picture two versions of yourself walking into a demo today. Version one is thinking about the number, going through the motions. Here's a homemaker, here's a trimmer, whatever. You're trying to get to the close. Version two walked in remembering what this push is actually buying. And that family will feel the difference in 30 seconds. You're warmer, you're not desperate. You're genuinely showing them how this set can fit in their kitchen because you're running on something bigger than tonight's order. Because customers will never buy from the digits in your head. They buy from the energy your why puts in the room. So type it out. Type it out right now. What does your number, your push number, actually buy you? Not the number, the thing on the other side of it. What is basically your why if you were to put this in like a couple words? What's that why? Do you even remember your why? Hopefully you have one that we created before this push started. If you don't, then it's a whole different conversation you need to talk to your manager about. Buy me a better future. Something I don't know what, something I don't know what. Just notice your name. My mother's med bills. Great. I know there's more than two Y's in this chat. Networking. Definitely expand on that one. Hang out with friends. Most disciplined version of myself. Love it, Maddie. Buys me my college education, helps my grandparents' house. Fantastic. And by the way, guys, something that's not about this talk, but if the why is not strong enough, then none of this matters. You're just going to keep going through the motions. So only you know that. You will only know when you look at your why. You're like, yeah, this freaking fuels me. If it doesn't, that's a reflection on you to actually figure out what your true why is. And if you don't have one, cool. That's fine. Reflect on that as well, too. But I love these guys. See, whatever you've typed in for your why, hold on to that because that's your fuel for the back half, not the number, the thing you just typed. Fourth key number 4. Win the environment, not the willpower fight. Okay, so eyes off the scoreboard, back in motion, reconnect to the why. Now we're going to actually get practical here because the feelings will fade. In the middle of the push it'll always feel long. See, how many of you, by the way, curious, when you're struggling, say and just show me your hands, say some version of, I just need more discipline. I need more willpower. I need to want it more. Who's here has ever said that before whenever you're struggling with something? Cool. I'm going to save you a lot of pain. Willpower works in sprints. It is not sustainable. And you guys have probably already been sprinting every single day since this push started. Hopefully, if you haven't, then that's a different issue. All right, you're running low. If your plan to finish this push is, I'll just grind harder on willpower, you're probably going to lose. Not because you're weak, because it's just not how this stuff works. So here's the move the best in the business actually make. They stop fighting the willpower battle and they fix the environment. Because your environment will always dictate your focus every time. You'll grind in the gym, but you never do those same workouts in your living room, right? Same body, different environment. The gym already does half the work for you. That's why half the battle is just showing up to the gym. Your domains will dictate your focus. Why do you think every manager has told you that if you show up to the office at 7:30 in the morning to make phone calls, you're probably going to sell 10K for push? Because it's just half the battle. I did that for my push period, guys. I remember my manager told me, and this is like 9 years ago when the homemaker was 12-12, dating myself there. But back 9 years ago, my manager told me, you want to win FOGO? Just show up to the office at 7:30 in the morning. And I'm like, really? That's all I got to freaking do is just show up? Cool. And that's all I did during push. Every day I just showed up. And what do you know? I sold 10 grand, right? You just never know. That just showing up is the biggest thing. So the simplest tool there is what I call the 10-second rule, by the way. Anything that takes more than 10 seconds to start, you need willpower for. Anything under 10 seconds, you'll just do it. So the night before, you don't leave your call list buried in a folder or in like a weird laptop location. and your phone across the room, the next TV, put your list out, open and ready, phone charged on the desk away from the bed, or go to the office or whatever. When it's time to call, there's nothing between you and your first dial. Zero willpower required. And the flip side, the stuff that's killing you, put it more than 10 seconds away. There's a study where they wanted people watching less TV, by the way. So they took the batteries out of the remote, stuck them in another room. And TV time dropped almost in half. Nobody got more disciplined. They just make the bad thing take more than 10 seconds. Okay, so we're going to go one layer deep than just the list out. So tonight, guys, what I want you guys, or today, what I want you to do after this call, pick your first 3 calls and write the names at the top. Ideally, 3 layups, like people you know that are probably going to pick up. Someone that's been saying like, yeah, call me, want to see you, whatever. So tomorrow you don't sit down, or today when you don't sit down and just stare at 200 names deciding who to call first, that decision's already made for you. So 3 names already chosen, already easy. Your 3 yeses into your momentum before your brain even has time to talk you out of it. You don't need more discipline. You need a better setup. Discipline is just what you reach for when your environment already failed you. You don't need more discipline. You need a better setup. Discipline is just what you reach for when your environment already failed you. So real quick, guys, put in the chat. What's one thing in your environment right now that's sabotaging your push or your phone time? Is it your phone? Is it social media? Is it the roommate? Is it the room? Is it Instagram? Is it whatever it may be? It could be a person. Just type it in the chat. And then you guys can see that everyone can be in the same boat as you. My roommate, social media, myself, social media. Now, yourself is in every single environment. So remember, guys, you can say myself, but think about your environment that's around you. What situation are you putting yourself in that's causing you to say myself? Right? There's probably something specific that's distracting you from it. Right? It could be phone, social media, whatever these guys are saying, but dive more into that, because yourself, you're going to be everywhere you go, no matter where you are. So that has to be fixed. Something in the environment has already failed you. Okay. Last key. Key number 5. Redecide. Kill plan B again. See, this last key, guys, this one's a decision. See, when you set your goal at the start, you made a decision, or you said you did. So here's the question. Was it a real emotional hell yes decision? Or did you just pick a number because it sounded good? Because the middle of the push is where that will get tested. The middle is where doubt creeps in real quiet and starts reopening your plan B. Hey, you hear that voice? Maybe that number was unrealistic. Maybe you'd be happy with less. Maybe this isn't my push. See, that's the plan B, sliding the door back open. And I'll teach you guys something about the word decide. See, it's Latin. The side on the end, that's the Latin part. It's the same as homicide, suicide, right? Not to get depressing, but it just means to kill off. To decide literally means to kill off every other option. So when you truly decide on your goal, you kill plan B. There's no door left for the doubt to walk through. And in the long campaign or long push, a decision isn't just a one-time thing. The greats redecide. They kill plan B at kickoff. They kill it again in the middle when it tries to crawl back. They kill it again the week after that. And here's where this bites you. You can have a rough week. You can have a rough day. 2 demos cancel. A guy falls asleep on you in the middle of the demo. And it happened to me. A sure thing, yes, falls through. You miss your weekly number. And then Saturday night, that voice shows up. You know what? Maybe 20K was unrealistic for me. See, that's not data, guys. That's just one bad week or one bad day trying to renegotiate your goal. That'd be like someone going to the gym to try to lose weight. And then the one day that they miss, they're just like, oh, it's not for me. No. See, today, guys, and Wednesday can go sideways. It's not a verdict on your push. The number didn't shrink because the week got hard. Your goal didn't get smaller because the middle got hard. So redecide it today. Kill plan B one more time. All right. So before you commit to anything today, by the way, we're going to do one last thing. We're going to do a quick self audit. So from those 5 keys that I just gave you, by the way, all right, you can look through the chat again if you need to scroll through it. But from those 5 keys, rate yourself 1 to 7 on each one, right? Gut reaction, no overthinking, detaching from the scoreboard. Where are you? 1 to 7. 1 being, and I think we already answered that before, but just 1 being like, hey, I'm not even looking at the number, and 7 being I'm looking at the number constantly. Just put that in real quick. We're going to kind of go through this rapid fire. Start with that one. Detaching from the scoreboard, where are you? 1 through 7. Real quick again. 6, 4.5. 3, 4, 2. Cool. Keep typing in if you're typing in. Regenerating momentum instead of waiting to feel like it, right? 1 being you're not doing that at all, and 7 being like, oh, I'm constantly generating momentum, right? I'm constantly like doing action. 1 to 7. Cool. And also obviously write this down in your notes somewhere. Don't just type it in and forget about it. Like I want you guys to kind of see this laid out for you. All right. Third one, staying connected to your why. 1 being like, dude, I haven't even thought about my why at all. Number 1. 7 being like, it's like on my bathroom mirror. It's in my car. It's in my blue book. Like I'm seeing it everywhere I go. 1 through 7 on that one. Cool. And also obviously also write it down in your notes. Winning your environment instead of fighting your willpower. 1 being like, I kind of just show up and see what happens. I don't control my environment. My room's messy. I'm on my phone all the time. I let my environment dictate what I do, right? Versus I'm in control of my environment. I have my phone away, social media away, all that stuff. That's the 7. 1 through 7 on that. And then finally, redeciding, killing plan B. 1 being like, now I definitely let plan B in my mind. I'm like already thinking about how I can just scrape by with a 3K push so that I can just get on stage and say hello to everybody. Or 7 being like, I'm constantly killing that shit. Plan B's gone. Like I'm redeciding. 1 through 7 on that one. Cool. Now, circle your lowest one. Your lowest one. That's not a weakness to feel bad about. That's the single highest leverage thing you can fix for the rest of this push period. That 1 key, that's your focus. And I want you guys in the chat to drop the key that's your weakest one. All right. So Logan, Hussein, Addy, all you guys, just type in the chat, what's your lowest key? The lowest one. Thank you, JD. JD said winning my environment. Key number 4. Great. That one was I think winning the environment one. Key for me, I need to improve my winning position when I wake up. Key number 3, kill plan B. That's the last key for Maddie. Fantastic. Keep typing it in, guys. Reconnect to the desire. Great. Staying connected to your why base. So key number 3 for you, Jade. Awesome. Leslie, key number 3. Cool. All right, guys. So this next little block that we're going to take 90 seconds here. If you're still typing in the chat, type in the chat. For these next 90 seconds, I want you guys to get a pen and paper, your laptop, whatever, just anywhere you can write this down. Number one, write your push number back down, the original one. All right, not the one that you came up with halfway through push. The one that you originally went after. And then under it, all right, you're not typing this in the chat, you're just writing this down on a pen and paper or your laptop. Under it, write what you typed earlier, what it buys you, like your why, like that one sentence why that you wrote down. Okay. See, that's you redeciding. That's you killing plan B. Right? That is you killing plan B. And the second thing I want you guys to write down the one environment thing that you're fixing tonight. Right? Is it, I'm just going to the office like every morning to make my phone calls for push? Is it, I'm going to make sure my list is ready to go so that I can just like wake up, do my thing, show up and make the calls? Is it, I'm deleting all social media off my phone? Is it, I'm deleting Netflix? Is it, I'm putting my video game console away? Which, by the way, guys, I do all of those things for my push periods. Like my console's away, my PS5's away, Switch is away, everything's away. Okay. So write down that one environment thing you're fixing tonight. The phone, the list, the room, anything. So one change. So today's first call takes 0 willpower. I remember how we started, guys. I asked for one word, which was, how is your push feeling? Fired up, you numb, you buried, you're mid. So here's what I want you walking out with. That word matters way less than you think. If you feel behind, okay. If you feel on top, cool. That's awesome. That feeling isn't the problem, and the feeling isn't the answer, because the middle of the push was never going to be won on the scoreboard. It's won by the rep who can get their momentum back the fastest. And now you've got 5 ways to do it. Eyes off the scoreboard. Move before you feel like it. Chase the desire, not the digits. Fix the setup, not the willpower. And redecide every single time that voice or doubt comes knocking. And that one key you just circled, start there tonight. See, guys, most of you have already been punched. Everybody in here has, including me. The push, I mean, I literally got my stuff stolen last night, guys, from my event, all my booth stuff. So yeah, I've been punched. So everyone here has, but the push isn't over because you got hit. The push is decided by what you do after you got hit. So go get your momentum back, guys. All right. We'll open up some Q&A here for the last 10-ish minutes. If no one has Q&A, how much stuff got stolen? Just my flatware chest, a couple knives, and then my showstopper set. It's like 5 pieces. So don't worry. The policemen got it back. So I got to go pick it up today. We'll open up some Q&A, guys. And if there is no Q&A, we'll just dive into the phone jam and we'll get rock and rolling. But I want to open up some questions here for any push stuff, Cutco stuff, events team related stuff, even, right? If you guys have questions on the events team aspect, doesn't matter, right? Open book here. Just use this time to ask me any questions you may have. Before you guys do ask the question, though, I would love to hear some takeaways that you got from this call or from this push talk as well. Before you ask your question. So, who's got a question?
What if we keep getting told that a customer already has Cutco? I've had that.
That's great.
3 times.
Yeah, that's great. I think isn't there a script in your manual that handles that? Like 99% sure. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Is there something in the script, Maddie?
Yeah,
there is. Cool. Have you been reading that?
I This is something. I'm looking at the sheet here. Trying to find where it is. What is this? What is it? You
I'm not sure where it is. Talk to Jared or
okay?
Leslie, and then they can point you to the right direction. But honestly, I find for me, whenever I just say whatever's in that script, it's been working for me. So
Well, I did get one person
good.
to have a demo with me late, even though they already have a Cutco rep, and but they've never heard of a demo before.
Why not? Just their time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
cool. What other questions you might have? You guys have? So unmute yourself and ask the question. Don't need to wait. Don't raise your hand. Just unmute
Yeah,
and ask.
Alan, I'll ask. So, I mean, I love the takeaway about really looking back at your why. And I guess my question would be, if you find that your why isn't serving you, or it's really, you know, deep down not really like what you desire, what's going to drive you, like how do you find out what does or what's worked for you in the past to really find a strong why in terms of why you're going big for the push to finish out strong.
Yeah, it's a great question, Jared. So I do what I call my 7 whys exercise. I did this with Maddie actually, where basically I ask myself the question first off, why am I going after this number? Why is this number important to me? I'll write down the first thing that comes to mind. And then I'll ask the why on whatever I wrote down. Why is that important to me? And I'll keep going. And I'll ask that why again and keep going and keep going and keep going until you get almost like 6 to 7 whys layered deep. And that's usually when you start finding your true why, right? It's such a simple exercise. But what makes it effective is you have to actually put thought and energy into it. You can't half-ass it. You can't surface level it. You have to genuinely go through those 7 layers and 7 whys until you get to the true reason. And you'll know when you get there, by the way. You'll know when you get to that why. Because you'll see it and you'll be like, that's it. That's the freaking why that's driving me to hit this goal. Okay. And it took Maddie a while to figure that out because I remember she was going like, oh man, like I just don't know if I have a good why enough. Like I don't know what my strong why. And I said, it's not about the number. It's about what that number can get you, who you're becoming in the process even better. Right? Because it takes a certain person to be able to hit 10K. It takes a certain person to hit 20 grand. If you've never done that before, you have to basically almost evolve into a different version of yourself. So imagine that version of you, like what that person's accomplishing. Even if this is not your career full time, who cares? If you can be successful freaking selling knives, I guarantee you can do anything you want in your life. No question about it. Because you're getting skill sets that can be transferable. So for those of you that are like, well, I just can't connect the why, like why it's so important. It's like, cool, find something that you can connect it to. Like for me, when my first 10K push, I remember writing down for myself, because I wanted to be a psychologist. I wanted to go get my PhD, all this stuff. And I wrote down like, okay, if I can sell knives, I can be a psychologist. If I can be successful with blank, I can do this. So I'm going to give it my all because I'm the kind of person that no matter what they're doing, they're giving them their all. They're not half-assing anything. So be that person. Find that why for you. And again, that took me 7 layers deep to get there. That answer your question, Jared?
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And I just want to, kind of speak for everybody here. Like, thank you, Alan, for taking the time this morning to speak to us, to give us things that like I think right now, like this applies to every aspect of our lives, not just this push week, but I think the push week also can expand um, and really connect to every aspect of our lives. And I think what's valuable is we really utilized everything that Alan's given to us this morning. Uh, because when Alan talks about growing into the person that hits 10K or 20K, like literally probably didn't know all of these strategies when he did his first 10K push. He learned them over time. So it's really exciting what you can create, really implementing these strategies now, for your push, for your summer, in your career here at Cutco. So thank you, Alan. I just want to, thank you on behalf of everybody, because, most CSPs, most leaders in any organization probably wouldn't be willing to wake up at 7:30 to give back, what they've been given. So I appreciate that.
Of course, guys. All right, guys, we got 7 minutes left for questions. If not, we'll just start early with the phone jam. So just any other questions here on push, objections, anything you might have gotten. All right, again, here to answer any questions you might have. Going once.
I encourage you guys to be vulnerable. All right. If you have a question, look, somebody else does too. So
yeah, no dumb questions here, guys. I promise.
Just ask.
What if you have people who won't give you referrals? I had that happen Tuesday. I kept telling him you must know somebody, and he said he didn't. He was.
Yeah. What I'm gonna ask you one question, Jeffrey. Be fully honest with me. Do you have the referral approach memorized fully? You don't have, you can't look at it.
No, but that's the only key. The
Yep.
approach.
Yep, memorize it. I'm telling you, that's the one thing I'll give you is just, if you memorize that approach, you're gonna see your results dramatically change.
Okay. It's just that that's the one thing I need to work on, getting referrals, and I keep asking. I keep telling them they must know somebody, and they say they're retired and they don't keep in touch with anybody.
Yep, memorize that approach. I'm telling you right now, that's the number one game changer. So that's why that's what I always ask someone whenever they have questions on referrals or they're struggling to get referrals. They'll just say, "Do you have it memorized?" If they don't, then that's where I'll start. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And so it's more like even if it's just one or two referrals.
Even then, even when you have it memorized, the people that give you 1 and 2 will give you 5 to 10. The people that give you 0 will give you 1 and 2. It changes. I'm not telling you that every single person is going to give you 1, but your results will change. You have more frequency.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Anyone else, guys? Maddie.
Really
Yep.
What is the one thing that you found when you're scheduling to help reduce the number of reschedules, no-shows? I have found that this push has been unlike anything I've ever seen, with people just no-showing me, especially on virtuals. I've never had an in-person no-show. But what's if you could give one tip to help limit those?
Just you wait, guys. When you have an in-person no-show, when you drive an hour and a half, that's when you're going to really feel it. What I like to do, Maddie, is I'll use examples when I'm on the phone. So when I confirm the appointment, basically be like, cool. Hey, by the way, are you sure this time works? Yeah, it does. Cool. The reason I ask is literally last week, I had a lady that said for sure it works. I showed up to her house and she wasn't there, and I drove an hour. So I know you wouldn't do that to me, but now I just always double check and make sure that, this time works for you. So does this work? Yes. Oh, I won't do that for you. Okay, cool. And it's just one of those things where just by telling that story, it resonates in their mind of okay, I can't do this to this person. So at least, very, very least, you'll at least get a text saying, hey, I can't make it. Let's reschedule, kind of thing. Versus just not even showing up to the appointment. That's what I would do, number one. Number two, just make sure you have your follow-up systems in place, like calendar invite, text beforehand, kind of stuff like that. Just because, especially with virtual demos, that's the confirmation you kind of want, for that, to make sure that they show up for that one. And then the longer you're on the phone with them, the more they're going to remember, you personally. So I always like going, and telling people, hey, by the way, just make sure, do you have anything write this down? This might be in your manual. I'm not sure. Just make sure you write down my name, Madddi. And then also write down my rep number or this confirmation number, because that's what my manager uses to confirm the appointment. And you just tell them your rep number, whatever your rep number may be. And then just him physically writing it down helps, because then it just remembers them as well. Some old trick that I used to do back in the day when I was doing in-person demos. I don't know if you guys have learned this or do this already, but I tell my in-person demos like, hey, I know this is going to sound really, really weird, but if you have a penny or a dime in your house, put it in the fridge for me. All right. So when I get there, we can utilize that. And be like, why? And I'll be like, I can't tell you why, but just do it for me, please. And then they'll do it. So it just reminds us when they open the fridge, they see a dime or a penny, and they'll always remember, oh yeah, Maddie's coming over. That's right. So a couple little tips there for you. Does that help? Sweet. All right. Got time for one more question.
Yeah,
We'll just dive into the phone jam.
when you do something in person, it's what do you do? How is it different from virtual?
In what way?
What?
In what way? What do you mean?
Well, do you use a computer? Do you get extra knives or what?
That is a great question for Jared, just because I haven't done an in-person demo in 8 years or 7 years. So I might be different now. So talk to Jared on that aspect to see what the difference is between virtual and in person.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Okay, guys, we're going to dive into phone jam here. So hop on the phones, guys. Again, create that action, because it doesn't matter all the information that I give you guys. Unless you take action through that, it's just going to kind of sit in your head, and that's it. So make sure that you guys are always taking action after these calls. Do something easy, that layup, right? Book that first phone call, that first appointment that you know is an easy yes. So we're going to go and get started here. If you guys have any questions in the meantime, you guys can always feel free to text me. But other than that, appreciate you guys for being on this call. Let's hop on the phone jam and we will get started. Stop the recording.